welcome back to the channel. So today we are talking about some things that I have been sewing in the last week, and that would include showing you a few of the mock-ups that I have made with some of these patterns that I have been sewing. And also I want to talk a little bit about my updated sewing plans for May, even though we are pretty much done with May and we are about to enter into June. I am still trying to get some of these projects done. So the fabric that I have decided to start with this month is this fabric here. And if you've seen my plans video and then also my pattern and fabric pairing, you are familiar with this piece. This is a beautiful rayon jacquard fabric that was sponsored to me by Morex. Again, check the link in the description box below so you could go over and check them out. So I started with this piece here, and I started with making the McCall's M8256. So I decided to use this pattern here with it. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop the pictures, the images of these up here, just because sometimes with the lighting, it gets faded out. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop the pictures up here so you can see what that looks like. So this is a level 1 learn to sew pattern. You have 4 different variations, and the sizes include extra small to 2XL. This was a pattern that actually was gifted to me by my beautiful friend Crystal of Crystal Sews and Stuff. So there's a whole history behind this. My Joanne basically didn't have the pattern, and I was just like, oh, I really want to make this top. And Crystal, she was so kind and generous to send it to me because she already had a copy of it. So I did a mock-up of View B, and this is a basically kind of like a loose fitting peasant top. It has raglan sleeves. You have a band that goes around the neckline, and you have elastic that goes on the end or the edge of the sleeve. So that's the view that I did a mock-up for. And like I said, I'll show you the mock-up, but I'm going to go ahead and just tell you some changes that I made. Now, this is a pattern that is very easy, and the suggested fabrics are lawn, cotton blends, poplin, and stable knit fabrics. So I went with this rayon fabric, which is kind of the opposite effect that you would get if you're using a lawn or a cotton blend type fabric, or even a poplin, because those tend to be stiff, more stiff than a rayon. So I wanted a drapey look. I wanted something that was fluid and nice, and I decided to go ahead and test this out. So for this video, I'm just basically sharing what I have been sewing, just to give you an update on my sewing progress. And then also, like I said, I have some updated sewing plans that I want to share with you all, because my sewing plans just have not gone the way in which I wanted them to go with some of these some of the patterns that I selected for May. And so I'm updating that, and I'm going to be selecting different patterns. So yeah, so I have been sewing this one, and like I said, I'll go ahead and show you what the mock-up looks like so far and how the drape is. I will tell you this before watching the pattern review. I will tell you this: the neckline did gape a little bit with the band. So the neckline of the actual body of the garment is gathered, and then you put a neck binding on top of those gathers. The binding is what I'm talking about in terms of gaping. It does gape a little bit, and I'll show you when I put my mock-up on. You'll see that excess of fabric that gapes around the neckline. So I measured at about, I think it was about maybe 1 inch that I had to take out. But like I said, I will tell you all of those, the modifications and everything that I have done in the pattern review. So I was working on that. I also made a mock-up for the Simplicity S9479, which is this easy to sew pattern. You have 4 different variations. You have a top with no sleeves, a top with grown-on sleeves with a button front. You have a pair of cropped pants, and then you also have a skirt that you can make. So I decided to make View C, which is the pair of pants that have these slanted pockets on the side of your garment, and you have an invisible zipper that goes on the left side of the body, and you have a waistband. This is a very simple and easy pattern. I really like the way, spoiler alert, I haven't, I want to be able to save a lot of the information for the pattern review. I'm so used to being in that pattern review mode that I almost gave everything away for you guys. But it is a decent pattern, but I do have to make some tweaks and stuff. I decided to make a size, I believe I made a size 18 for my mock-up, and then decided that I wanted a size 20 because I wanted a little bit more extra room. There was nothing really wrong with that size. I just wanted to go up another size just so that I could have more room. So I am working on those, but I kind of thought about the type of fabric that I wanted to use. Like in the pattern and fabric pairing video, I had pitched several ideas of different types of fabrics that I could actually use for this pattern, including like twill fabric, linen and rayon linen, like those types of fabrics. Now, the pattern calls for stretch wovens, double knits, pontes, and stuff like that, satines. And I wanted to use either a linen or a twill, which the twill that I have is like a really nice fluid drapey type twill. And so I kind of rethought about that. And because I really want to use my twill fabric this year. I like desperately really want to use that fabric. I've been holding on to that fabric for over a year now, and I desperately want to make a pair of slacks out of that fabric. However, I got to thinking that this and the Petra pants are probably not the best patterns to actually make with that twill. And so that'll go into me talking about my updated sewing plans here in a minute. And I'll tell you some of the patterns that I'm thinking about using that twill for. But I do enjoy this pattern so far. And now I'm just kind of thinking about what fabric I want to use. Do I want to use a linen or do I want to use a double knit? Because I really like, I had some houndstooth type double knit that I purchased that I think would be really cute, but it's more along the lines of like a fall type fabric as well as a color scheme. And so if I do make these up, I won't be able to wear them for the summer. So I'm just kind of rethinking about what I want to do with the Simplicity S9479, but I have made a mock-up and I'll show you what that mock-up looks like. I also attempted to make the new look in 6721. So this is a pattern that has 3 different variations of a skirt. You have a handkerchief skirt that you can make for views A and B. And then you also have view C, which is just a skirt that has a squared off hem. Now, I don't know why I thought that this pattern had an actual waistband. When I was looking at it, I guess maybe because the ties kind of give off this illusion that you have a waistband, but you don't. You have facings. The facings are obviously facing on the inside of the garment, so you don't have a waistband on this one. And after I cut out all the pieces and I traced all my pieces and I got to thinking, I don't know if I want to have a garment that don't have a waistband. I don't really have that many garments that have that many skirts that don't have waistbands. I just love the comfort of a waistband. And so I cut the pattern pieces out and everything, and I was trying to get over that, and I thought, hey, I can go ahead and make use this fabric here. I could go ahead and use this fabric here and go ahead and make this view here, which is view C. And when I was thinking about that, I thought, oh, that would be really cute. And so I thought, okay, I'll just get over the whole waistband situation and I'll just go ahead and make it anyway. I went to lay the pattern pieces down and the actual skirt was too wide for my fabric on double fold. Now, if I open it up and I do a single fold, then I can cut the pieces out. But the problem is I won't have enough fabric for a top and a skirt if I do that way. So I'm in limbo with this pattern as well, not knowing if I'm going to go forward and make this I might just go ahead and make one of the other skirts that I had in my queue for this month, and I'll go ahead and pop images of those here and show you what those look like. But yeah, I did attempt to make this one, but the skirt pattern was just too wide for my fabric. I went ahead and cut out my patterns for my pattern pieces for the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush brush top. So I went ahead and I did all that, but I did not sew up the mock-up and test it yet. So I'm still in the process of doing that. And yeah, so I'm still in the process of doing that. So in terms of like updates on sewing plans that I want to do and what I am thinking about reconsidering for my whole sewing plans for May, I want to possibly make the Simplicity 1887. This is a pattern that I sewn before. It's an easy to sew pattern that I think you have something like 6 different variations. You have a pair of shorts, you have 2 different variations of a skirt, and you have 3 different variations of a pair of pants. I made the pair of pants before, which are view A, and I made a lot of alterations. And it ended up turning out really nice. I really actually like this pattern, but I haven't made view D yet or the shorts either. So I think for the summer, I think I want to make view D, which is the skirt, and I think I want to make that out of a linen. The nice thing about this particular pattern is that it calls for a lot of different fabrics. So you can do laundered cottons, batiks, lightweight satins, challis fabrics. You could do silks or rayons. You can do linen. You can do double georgette, any type of linen blends, jerseys. There's a lot that you can actually use. There are a lot of fabrics you can use for this pattern. And like I said, I did view A before, and I made them in a jean material, like a denim material. And so and like I said, I made a lot of alterations, and so I tapered the leg in. So if I can remember correctly, this pattern actually is really loose in the legs, and I wanted a more tapered look. And so I altered the pattern a little bit so I could have a little bit of a tapered look for my jeans. I think I'm going to make a pair of linen trousers with view A, and for view C, view D, I think I want to make a sateen skirt or a lightweight denim skirt or something like that. So that is on my list now for May and June. And then also the Simplicity S9376. I'm in the process of doing the mock-up for that one right now as well. I have not cut out the muslin for it, but the pattern pieces are all ready to go. And after I do this video, I'll be testing that. So I am planning on making view D or view B. And yeah, so that is what I am working on right now. And then also, in terms of using my navy blue fabric, hold on, let me get it so I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so I am back, and this is the fabric that I'm talking about here, which is this beautiful navy blue floral printed fabric that was sponsored to me by Morex. So again, make sure you check the description box below. And I also have a code for my followers. I'll make sure that I put a code in the description box below so you could go over if you want. I think it's like 15% off your total purchase. You can take advantage of that. So I'm thinking about using that fabric with the Very Easy Vogue V9319, which is this pattern right here. This top, I want to make view A. And it calls for crepes, rayon, challis, lightweight jerseys, and chambray. So I'm thinking about using this right here for that. And then maybe even making the shorts somewhere down the line in the future here. So yeah, so I want to make that with that. And the reason why I changed my mind on making the Vogue, I forget what the pattern is, but it looks like it's kind of like a vintage type pattern. I opened up that pattern and I believe it has like what do you call those, godets or whatever, or you know, the little inserts that you have to put in the skirts. And I'm not down with all that. I am just not down with doing all that work. Like, I like to do muslins and mock-ups and all that stuff, but some work I just don't want to do, and that's one of them. So I'm not down with all that, so I decided to just go ahead and change my plans on that. And then also for the skirt, because I have enough fabric that I can get a top and a skirt, I'm thinking about doing either the New Look N6722, which is the skirt right here. And I want to make view C. So this has actually been on my radar since it has come out. But after Crystal made her little version for the maxi dress challenge, and she did it in this beautiful neon green color, which is really cute and on trend. And I thought, oh, that is so gorgeous. And so I'm thinking about making either that skirt with this fabric or the New Look N6668, which is this pattern right here. And it is a pattern that has, you have two different patterns in the same envelope. You have a top, and then you also have a skirt. And the skirt, you have like a yoke skirt with an elasticated waistband. And you can do a variation where there's a band at the lower bottom of the skirt, or you don't even have to do the band at the bottom of the skirt. So I'm thinking about doing that right there, but I think I'm going to omit the lower band. So that way I have enough fabric to get a skirt and a little cover up, that little top from the Vogue V9319. So that's basically what I'm doing. I am sewing, but it is slow. If you have any ideas as to other skirt patterns that I can actually make with this pattern, with this fabric here, please go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I was looking for something like that was along the lines of a more vintage style. But I don't really have a lot of vintage skirt patterns or top patterns. So I have to redirect my thinking on that. And I'm thinking about, like I said, a matching skirt and a top. So those are the things that I have been doing. And I've been excited to get some of these projects done, like my mock-ups and stuff and tests done. I only got 2 done, but I am making progress. As always, I appreciate your support. I hope you all have a happy and blessed sewing week. And until next time, my friends, stay creative. Bye. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing to my channel by hitting the red icon below this video.